Let's see. When the run is dead, but you're trying to convince me, chat it's not. That's called the Mitch McConnell. Nice. My runs. This is where they're dying. Good luck on the runs, though. We just practicing. I'm trying to reduce the deaths. The chokes. Unfortunately, choking is no interest of mine. I'd much rather get a PB. Poor Mitch, you could have been playing this game instead of that life, the hood life. Yeah, more like the hooded life, racist. Nah, just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's always tough. What's your PB? I had a PB on SM64 Coupe DX. Intro skipped. That is 1759. 1759, you add about like a minute to that. So I say it's like 1859. But that was off stream, so it doesn't count. But yes, more of a beginner to intermediate player for sure. Let's see, 2154 is still very respectable. Yeah, I'm a speedrunner. Yeah, I think Coupe 17 is decent. That's starting to get decent, but still, I'm more in the stage of just not making any major mistakes rather than refining movement. Although you can refine movement at any point, but working on it. I do need to work on fast cannon lists eventually. But here's how we're doing it. So we're kind of going around. You don't have to go around. I understand it. And then you just come like this, and you. That's what I'm talking about. I know you're supposed to like jump across the gap. You're supposed to not like that. Definitely not like that. But you're supposed to jump across the gap to it. That's like the ultra. That's the fast way. Oh, that's called salt cannonless. Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. But yeah, it's such a weird. That's such a weird angle to do it from. Really. But if it works, it works. No cap. No cap. Rome at work. The man's at work. Let him cook. Come on, bro. Let's up those numbers. Let's up those numbers. Let's see. If anyone in this chat has life insurance needs, let me know. True. Friggin' Mango is kind of back. I guess he like made a video update about like his life and his sobriety. I think he's like he just hit a year sober, which is good for him, man. That's the melee goat, bro. For better or for worse, that's the melee goat. I know the internet these days is very anti people changing. I wonder why that is. What is it about the internet that makes it so dogpiley? But not just dogpiley, but also like you can't come back. Some people say, and I actually do kind of think this is true, is that you're not canceled unless you cancel yourself. Like if you just stop posting, then yeah, congratulations, you're done for. But if you stay there and you actually, you know, clean up your act, there will be some people that ride with you and, you know, want you to be a better person. I don't know. Can you explain the example? I'm a bit confused. What is LARP? So LARP stands for live action role playing originally. Yeah, yep, you got it. You got it. And so it is basically the internet has taken that term and totally distorted it into something completely different, where it just means pretending to be something or like something. So basically pretending. Let's see. What I'm trying to say is the term is used for people who act like they're a big fan of something while having yeah. It's used for people who act like they're a big fan of something while having only seen like 2 clips of it on YouTube Shorts. Well, here's the thing, Big Mac. It's 2026. You don't need to have watched something to be a fan of it. I fully approve of the term LARP being used. I like the term LARP. I like the term tourist. I've said this and I stand on this take. We need to bring back gatekeeping. And I think we're already working on it as a culture. Bring back gatekeeping. You need to have consumed media a certain specific way to really speak on it. I stand by that. And you can quote me on that. Now, it's definitely a case-by-case basis. You at least need to consume the original core material, bro, to have an opinion. I don't want to hear your opinion on anything if you haven't seen it, bro. I know, but we're talking people saying Gojo would solo everything, but while having seen 2 JJK edits, exactly, bro. Now, honestly, I say that, but I'm also a Wally West fan. Okay, even though the closest thing I've seen is like, the Justice League, where it's the teens, and he's in that show. So I guess I could technically be a Wally West fan. But yeah, like Wally West soloing fiction, and it's just the Wally West edits, and it's like, I love those, bro. I love those. But unfortunately, Wally West has a memetic antivirus, and his name goes by Robin. I don't know if you're familiar, but Robin freaking broke his legs in with a pipe in the Teen Titans Go show. So anytime anyone mentions Wally West soloing fiction, they just mention Robin breaking his legs. Oh my gosh, poor Wally. So I'm a LARPer in some stuff. Yeah, I feel like everybody's a LARPer in some stuff. Because there's always going to be stuff that is in the edge of your knowledge that you've seen a little bit, but you still kind of like. But yeah, we should, I'm still going to stand on the gatekeeping take. You can be a LARPer, but just don't speak on, on the thing publicly. I don't want to hear your opinion. Anyways, you know, so I guess maybe I do understand the LARPing. Anyways. Maybe I do understand it. What am I doing in this game? What was that? Good old circling the windmillers. Yeah, right? Dude, that's how you know I'm just in the zone. Like, I'm not actually playing the game at all. I'm simply using the game as something to do with my hands. That is it. You know what? I have a hot take. You may not like this. I don't mind AI ads. Because, and here's my because. Mobile ads were already so terrible. I'm talking mobile ads, by the way. Mobile ads were already so like brain rotten, like just ridiculous ads. So the fact that they're using AI ad now actually raises the average level of quality. Like, does that make sense? It's actually kind of funny. Like they were already so bad and like basically complete slop that AI's made them tolerable. Now, if we're talking about TV commercials, that's a different realm. Japan, I'm convinced that Japan is like, it's like a Jurassic Park, bro. Like in the same way that like Australia just has this crazy environment because it's an island and they've just been undisturbed, and so it's like a Jurassic Park over there. Japan's the same. I mean, think about it. They got freaking monkeys and boars and freaking like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, maybe they don't have rhinos and stuff like Africa necessarily, but they're cutting it close. But especially when it comes to the bug, bro. Especially when it comes to the bugs, man. Have you heard of the, what do they call it? The giant hornet, bro? The giant hornet in Japan that freaking can kill you. Now, luckily for me, I never came across it, although I did live where it was. I did live where it was, and I was a little bit concerned. But another thing that I knew I was nearby was huntsman spiders, which, if you don't know, I believe is the largest variety of spiders. I think in it. Aren't they just the largest period? As I understand it, they're just the largest spiders like on planet freaking Earth. Anyways, I knew that the area I lived in was actually pretty famous for huntsman spiders, and I had heard of friends that had encounters of the what do they call it? Encounters of the third kind? I don't know what that movie is. Anyways. When I would go outside on walks, I would walk on a sidewalk. And there was one brushy area that I would never go. I would never go there because I'm like, I feel like if I go there, I'm going to encounter a huntsman. So I'm just going to avoid it. And so every day I go on walks. And I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. I'm like, wow, it's so pretty here. And there's a sunset and water. It's chill. I love Japan. And then one day I'm like, man, I think I've been too afraid of that area. I've been too afraid, bro. Let's be honest. I can go down there this one time, right? And then I go, and then something just, boom, brushes across my hand. Like, what the heck was that? What the heck was that? And I know what it was, bro. It's a freaking huntsman. I'm telling you, I'm lucky enough to see it. They're first of all, they're fast AF. But second of all, they generally avoid people. But the way it almost felt like there was like a person that like slapped my hand. Like it felt like this. And it was fast AF, and I was like, dude. It just sent a chill down my spine. Like an absolute chill down my spine. And that is when I realized I was never going down that path ever again. And my fears were completely warranted. Sometimes you just gotta trust your gut, bro. Because your gut is probably protecting you from a freaking huntsman spider. But yeah, they're not dangerous in any way. And then also Japan had roaches, bro. My apartment complex, bro, it was bad. That place had roaches. Now it's not making it better, I'm gonna be honest with my habits there. But yeah, Japan's just famous for roaches. Of course, yeah, it just has a bunch of roaches. And so I did get over my sort of aversion to roaches. Like I never saw too many at one time, which is nice. Like I only ever saw one at a time. If you see one at a time, you know there's roaches nearby. If you see multiple, that's an infestation. That's an infestation. And I never saw more than one, which is nice. Eat that. But yeah, and that's why I'm kind of glad to be back in the States. Because I don't have to encounter crazy bugs or roaches, just in general. Oh my gosh, that reminds me, bro. That reminds me. Dude, okay. So one time, I'm walking around Tokyo, right? And I'm just chilling, I'm vibing, I'm having a good time. There's a festival, they're getting all festive and stuff. And I'm like, you know, today would be a great day for a donut. And so, I see a Dunkin' Donuts nearby. I walk in, and I've been practicing my Japanese, right? And so, I talk to this lady, it's right at the front. I talk to her Japanese, like, can I please get that, please? And then she responds to me in English, which one? This one? And then what I do, because I'm an absolute jerk, is I say, oh yeah, I'm talking about that one right there. She said, what? Oh yeah, I mean that one right there. I cook her because I'm freaking passively aggressively being like, speak to me in Japanese. I've been living here. I've been speaking the language. Speak to me in Japanese. But I know, really, realistically, I'm just being a jerk. This is me projecting my frustration with wanting to practice Japanese, and she's, you know, she wants to practice her English or whatever, or wants to be helpful. And then so whatever, I get the few donuts, you know, so then I have to train home, get back, and then I open up the bag of donuts, and what is there but a cockroach just right on top, bro, right on top of the box. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my karma. I deserve this. This cockroach wouldn't have been here if I wasn't a jackass to the freaking lady that helped me get this, bro. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so I ended up returning it, bro. But it was in that moment where I was like, I'm just saying that it felt like karma. That's what I'll say. It just felt like karma. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have been a jerk. Even if, you know, it was just a coincidence, bro. I shouldn't. The fact that I knew that I shouldn't have. But yeah, it was very fun living in Japan. Would I do it again? It's a great question. Probably not permanently. I think I've decided. I don't think I'd want to live there like for years and years and never come back to the States. But I think I could live there medium term for another period of time. Whether that's a few months or... You know what it is? I mean, I think it kind of does depend on financial stability, right? If I can if I can afford to come and go as I please, that's a different story. That's a different story. But if I can either live in Japan and only come to the US a couple times a year, or like once a year realistically, or I could live in the US and go to Japan once a year, I think I'd prefer the latter, which is what it comes down to.